Welcome to Ethiopia Insight. Amidst the expansive terrains of Sudan, where the grand Nile River embraces the boundless deserts and verdant savannas, pulses the vibrant heartbeat of a nation enriched by the profound depths of its diverse cultures and age-old customs. The air resonates with the timeless echoes of tales passed down through millennia, from the lively markets of Khartoum to the serene hamlets perched along the meandering riverbanks. Yet, beneath this vibrant mosaic, a brewing unrest stealthily undermines the very weave of everyday existence. Setting the stage for an epic narrative of human endurance, we delve into the genesis of a crisis that has not only devastated lives, but also dispersed a populace across frontiers in their poignant search for sanctuary. Embark with us as we uncover the deep-seated roots of conflict that have driven thousands from their beloved homeland, initiating a journey marked by danger yet highlighted by the indomitable spirit of the Sudanese people. In the heart of Africa, a crisis unfolds silently yet devastatingly. The land of Sudan, rich in history and culture, has been torn apart by years of conflict and instability. This turmoil has forced countless families to make the heart-wrenching decision to flee their homes, seeking refuge in neighboring countries, with many finding their way to Ethiopia. Here they hope to find safety and a chance to rebuild their lives. However, the reality they encountered was far from the refuge they sought. Instead, they stepped into another struggle for survival, facing a new set of challenges in the refugee camps scattered across the Ethiopian landscape. As we delve deeper into their stories, we uncover the harsh conditions of these camps, the ongoing threats to their safety, and the international response to their plight. This documentary takes you on a journey through their eyes, exploring the depths of despair and the glimpses of hope that define the Sudanese refugees' crisis in Ethiopia. Imagine leaving everything you know behind in search of safety, only to find yourself facing even greater hardships. Thousands of Sudanese refugees, after fleeing their homeland due to devastating conflicts, sought refuge in Ethiopia. But what awaited them there was far from a sanctuary. In the sprawling camps across the Amhara and Benishangul-Gumuz regions, these refugees encountered a stark reality. Security is almost non-existent, and basic necessities like food and medicine are in critically short supply. According to reports, aid deliveries, when they do arrive, barely last a few days. The lack of security has had terrifying consequences. Just between December and January, incidents of violence, including sexual assaults and armed robberies, surged, leaving the refugees in constant fear for their safety. One refugee, Osman Abdelbari, shared his harrowing story. He and over 3,000 others left the Olala camp due to the horrific decline in services, especially healthcare. Food and medicine are scarce, and there's no security, he said. The desperation drove them to walk towards Gondar, a border town, in hopes of crossing back to Sudan. The situation in Komer camp near Madama is equally dire. Refugees there staged a sit-in, demanding basic necessities like food, water, and protection from the UNHCR after a series of armed looting incidents. The images shared on social media of these sit-ins and marches paint a bleak picture of desperation and despair. Mustafa Omer, another refugee, urged the international community to recognize and address the severe crisis caused by the ongoing conflict in Sudan. He and thousands of others have received minimal aid, with many facing extreme difficulties in accessing clean water and sufficient food. In Karmuk camp, conditions are no better. Al-Hadi Omer's testimony reveals a grim reality of neglect and discrimination. Many refugees have not received any aid since their arrival. Allegations of corruption among aid workers exacerbate the suffering, with some refugees receiving less assistance than others. And now fears loom large over these desperate souls, as rumors circulate about the Ethiopian authorities planning to dismantle the camp and relocate refugees to an unknown destination. These refugees are caught between a rock and a hard place, with no clear path to a safe and dignified life. This exodus from Ethiopian camps is not just a series of statistics. It's a poignant reminder of the ongoing human suffering and the urgent need for a concerted international response. The plight of the Sudanese refugees in Ethiopia is a clarion call for humanity to step up, to provide protection, aid, and hope to those who have already lost so much. In the heart of Sudan, the city of Al-Fashir faces an imminent threat that has sent shockwaves through the region and the international community. Paramilitary forces known for their ruthless tactics have surrounded the city, cutting off all escape routes. According to recent reports, the air is thick with tension, and the streets once bustling with life now echo with the haunting silence of a city under siege. Families huddle inside their homes, fearing the outbreak of violence as the paramilitary groups tighten their grip. The scarcity of food and water has become acute, turning every day into a desperate struggle for survival. Eyewitnesses have shared chilling accounts of armed men patrolling the streets, instilling fear among the residents. The international community holds its breath, fearing a large-scale massacre could be unleashed at any moment. Humanitarian organizations have sounded the alarm, calling for immediate intervention to prevent a catastrophic loss of life. Yet the geopolitical complexities make swift action challenging. As the world watches, the people of Al-Fashir are left feeling abandoned, their cries for help lost amidst the broader crises engulfing the region. This dire situation not only pushes more people to flee towards uncertain sanctuaries like Ethiopia, but also serves as a grim reminder of the ongoing struggles faced by those caught in the crosshairs of power struggles. The siege of Al-Fashir is not just a local crisis, it is a stark illustration of the human cost of conflict and the urgent need for a global response to prevent further tragedies. The roots of the current crisis can be traced back to the intensifying conflict in Sudan. In the heart of Africa, Sudan has been engulfed in turmoil following a power struggle that erupted after a failed coup. The streets of Khartoum and other major cities have become battlegrounds, with forces loyal to rival leaders clashing violently. Civilians caught in the crossfire have had their lives upended. Markets, schools, and hospitals have been transformed into scenes of chaos, compelling thousands to flee their homes in search of safety. The impact of the conflict is devastating, infrastructure is crumbling, and the economy is in a freefall, exacerbating the suffering of the Sudanese people. The international community watches anxiously as the situation worsens, with peace talks yielding little progress. As families traverse deserts and dangerous terrains to escape the violence, their destination often offers little respite. The refugee camps in Ethiopia meant to be sanctuaries are overwhelmed, under-resourced, and fraught with their own perils. This backdrop of conflict and despair sets the stage for the harrowing journey of thousands of Sudanese refugees as they seek safety far from the land they call home. In the wake of the harrowing experiences faced by Sudanese refugees, the global community stands at a crossroads. The escalating crisis in Sudan not only pushes its people into the abyss of despair, but also challenges the conscience of the world. While nations deliberate and NGOs mobilize, the real impact is felt on the ground, in the makeshift shelters and overburdened camps where hope is a scarce commodity. It is here that the international response must transition from sympathy to action. We call upon governments, organizations, and individuals alike to bolster their efforts. Increased aid, improved refugee policies, and sustained diplomatic initiatives are imperative to address both the symptoms and the root causes of this crisis. Each of us holds the power to make a difference. Whether it's through donating, volunteering, or simply spreading awareness, the actions we take can light a beacon of hope for those engulfed by the shadows of conflict. As the stories of these resilient souls continue to unfold, let us not be mere spectators. Let us be the catalyst for change that can transform despair into hope and turmoil into peace. Join us in this mission to not only witness but also contribute to a narrative of recovery and resilience. Together we can help restore the dignity and security that every human deserves. As the sun rises over the arid landscape, Sudanese families, carrying whatever belongings they can, embark on a perilous journey towards Ethiopia. The decision to leave home is heart-wrenching, but driven by the dire need to find safety and a semblance of peace. Each step taken by these refugees is laden with uncertainty. Mothers clutch their children tightly, fathers scan the horizon for dangers, and the elderly struggle to keep pace. Along the way, they face numerous challenges. Smugglers and traffickers prey on the vulnerable, demanding exorbitant fees for a promise of safe passage, which is often a perilous route through hostile territories. Despite these threats, the resilience of the Sudanese people shines through. Stories of kindness emerge amidst the hardship, a local villager sharing water, a former refugee volunteering to guide families through safer paths. As they cross into Ethiopia, the refugees are met with a mix of apprehension and relief. The sprawling refugee camps are a stark contrast to their past lives, but represent a temporary refuge from the violence back home. This journey, fraught with danger and driven by hope, underscores the indomitable spirit of those in search of safety and stability. Their stories are a poignant reminder of the human cost of conflict and the unyielding desire for peace and security. As the first light of dawn touches the makeshift homes in the refugee camps of Ethiopia, we see the beginnings of a new day and, for many, the first steps towards a new life. Here, amidst the rows of tents and the bustling community centers, the Sudanese refugees start to weave the fabric of their resilience into the tapestry of their new surroundings. Children, who once knew only the sounds of conflict, now fill the air with laughter as they play in the open spaces of the camps. Women gather to share stories and skills, forming bonds over the art of weaving and cooking, turning their heritage into a bridge towards integration and acceptance. Men, who navigated the treacherous paths to bring their families to safety, now engage in discussions and workshops, planning for a future where they can contribute positively to their new community and regain their dignity through employment and education. Yet, the road ahead is long and filled with challenges. The camps, while safe, are not a permanent solution. They are stepping stones, places of temporary refuge that need the support of the global community to transform into sustainable living environments. This scene of daily life in the refugee camp is a stark reminder of the ongoing needs of these displaced families. It calls on each of us to take action, to contribute in ways big or small, to ensure that the dawn these families woke up to becomes a lasting sunrise, not just a fleeting moment of peace. Let us stand together with the refugees of Sudan, not just as witnesses to their struggle, but as active participants in building a future where peace and security are not just aspirations but realities. As the day ends, the sun sets not just on the camp, but on an opportunity for us all to reflect on what we can do to help light the path ahead. As we draw near the end of our journey through the heartache and hope of the Sudanese refugees, let us pause and reflect on the incredible resilience that has been both a shield and a beacon for these displaced souls. Amidst the backdrop of serene landscapes in Ethiopia, where the harshness of their past meets the promise of the future, the refugees continue to teach us invaluable lessons about strength, perseverance, and the enduring spirit of humanity. Today, we witness children who have faced adversities that many of us can scarcely imagine, laughing and playing under the wide, open skies. Their joyous echoes are a potent reminder of the purity and resilience of childhood and the capacity for renewal that lies within us all. We saw women who have carried the weight of their family's survival, weaving not just textiles but the very fabric of a supportive, thriving community. Their hands, which have known so much toil and pain, now craft beauty and sustenance, binding the past with the present and knitting a future filled with hope. And the men, who once stood on the front lines of conflict, now stand in circles of discussion and learning, forging paths to self-sufficiency and dignity in this land that has offered refuge but not yet home. Each of these stories, each of these lives, is a testament to the unyielding hope that even in the darkest times, a new dawn is possible. As the sun gently sets on our narrative, let it not set on our commitment to stand with the Sudanese refugees. Let us carry forward the light of their hope and resilience, illuminating our actions and inspiring our communities to support and uplift those who have endured so much. Together, with empathy and action, we can help ensure that the new dawn in Ethiopia is just the beginning of a long, peaceful day. Thanks for watching.